Hey, what's up YouTube? Just wanted to show you guys my newest and probably most irresponsible purchase ever. This is a 1992 Japanese domestic market. They did not ever import this car to the United States, but since it's over 25 years old, here it is. Crown Majesta. This is the first generation of that car. It came out in 1991 as Toyota's top model in like many countries, not Japan. They did have a large V8 Rolls-Royce-like car then, which got a V12 in 1997. We hope to have one of those here soon. But this car is absolutely incredible. In 1991, it was available with intelligent four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, like an on-demand system, like what you'd see in like a Highlander or a like a RAV4. I don't know if it used a viscous coupler or if it was on all the time, but all-wheel drive, all-wheel steer. Self-leveling adjustable air suspension, and the dampening of the shocks is adjustable in what Toyota calls TEMS, or Toyota, I believe, electromagnetic suspension or sports suspension. It had a heads-up display, power tilt-away steering column, just so many exclusive features. Now this is 2JZ powered. This is a straight six and a 4-speed automatic. It, thank goodness, is just rear-wheel drive and does not have the all-wheel steering, because you can't get parts for this car in the United States. You've got to call Japan. And to give you an idea, 3 of the air struts are still available. One's discontinued, and they're $1,700 each. The computer to control them is $2,700. Brake pads are $140. Brake rotors are about $200. So not the kind of car that you want to daily drive, and the less crazy features it has, the better. I'm going to show you guys inside. What's pretty cool is it has a key, like our early Lexuses here, where the button to lock and unlock is on the side. But it's unlocked now. I'll just show you guys some of the absolutely amazing features in this car. I haven't cleaned it yet, but it really doesn't need to be cleaned. It's, of course, right-hand drive. The blinkers are on, this side, which is strange. I'm constantly turning on the windshield wipers when I'm trying to go left. Very, very awkward to drive. I am used to, we have a really long driveway, and I do work on that side on cars, and our 1950 Chevy is there, so I'm constantly backing in funny and parallel parking on the wrong side and stuff. But with right-hand drive, it is really, really awkward. But yeah, so inside this thing is just wild. But it does have the heads-up display. I could show you guys that, maybe. I'll turn it on here. Now, normally the steering wheel would come toward me and down, but I have that shut off to avoid one more thing that could break. Yeah, there it is. You can see the heads-up display. So that red triangle of death, which you've seen on a Prius, is actually just telling me to put my seatbelt on. So no big deal there. Crazy stuff. I've translated some of the Japanese, like this says shift lock. It's red. I don't know what it does. I'm assuming it locks it in gear. I'm not touching that. Like an American Toyota, the transmission can be power or normal. This raises the car. You push this button and the car raises up, I don't know, like an inch or something, to make it better for their situations in Japan with, I'm assuming, by like mountains and parking lots and stuff like that where it's hilly. And this is the TEMS. So this magnetically stiffens the suspension. And I guess this car can really perform, but I'm definitely not going to be doing that in an almost 30-year-old car that I can't get parts for, so I drive it very gently. Japan has a law, it's part of their DOT, that there needs to be a flare in the car, and almost every JDM car has that stolen at export or import, but there it is. This one has it. So super exclusive features you just wouldn't expect in a car of this era. You could control the passenger seat from the driver's seat, or more importantly from the back seat, because these were used as limousines quite often, not only in Japan but other countries. And it has in the back, on both sides, it has power rear seats. So it reclines as it slides forward. That would allow the person riding in the back, being chauffeured, to move that seat up and maximize their legroom while they recline and relax in the back, with their own HVAC vents on the roof and everything. So crazy, crazy features in this car. Both doors, and you can see throughout the car too, the plastic from the dealer when it was new, almost 30 years ago, still there. But yep, cigarette lighter and ashtray. Thank goodness hasn't been used. In in both doors. The carpet in this thing is wild. I mean, it's like thicker than house carpet, and it might be wool. I'm not sure. I know on that V12 Toyota Century that we want to get here, they don't have leather. Leather's not popular in Japan. It's kind of looked at like it's for the subway or the bus. So they have really luxurious fabric, and in some cases it's wool, and I'm not sure. The stereo in this car is fantastic. Unfortunately, the radio in Japan goes from 76.6, I believe, to, or somewhere in the 76 range, to just about 90. So there's only a couple stations that overlap, and they don't come in real clear. This can be sent out and have a new crystal put in it, so it does work with American stations, and if that gives me an American station readout, I'm going to do it. If it doesn't, there's a cheaper and less risky and costly way where there's it's a little adapter that goes into the back of this where the antenna goes, and the antenna goes into that, and it kind of modulates to different stations, which will never obviously be clear on this, but the crystal might actually change this. So if it does, I'm gonna have it done. It's microprocessed automatic air conditioning, which is pretty common now, but not in 1991. Again, this is a 92, but you know, it's the same as the 91. So controls in there if you want to do it yourself. Rear air conditioning and stuff is separate. That's cool. I didn't even know that yet. No cup holders in this car. Another ashtray. And then this thing is for like change and stuff. And that's where you can slide the rear seats back into their home position, which I'm hoping to find the fuse for that and pull it out, because if I put car seats back there, and my kids press that could be an issue. But yes, just super exclusive car. It's a lot of people think, give you guys some more views of the outside here. A lot of people think that this is a Lexus GS300, or people that know that it's not assume pretty commonly that it's on that chassis. It is not. What I've been told by the only person that seems to know more about these in my world than I do, and I don't know that much. Actually, that's part of the purpose of this video. Is I'd love to meet somebody else out there that has one of these, even if they're in another country. They maybe can share some knowledge with me, and it'd just be nice to know somebody else that has one. But yeah, so the chassis on this, the only thing ever sold in America that was comparable but a generation older was the 1992 back to about 89 or 88 Toyota Cressida, which is a gorgeous car as well. But the brake rotors, the brake pads, all that stuff, again, it's like $140 for brake pads or 200 and something for rotors. Those part numbers I have written down, and they don't translate at Lexus or Toyota, which does again indicate that this is not at all similar mechanically, other than the engine and tranny, to a first generation Lexus GS or Aristo, as they called it in Japan. We have a Wyndham too, but it's not JDM, it's a Lexus ES 300. But yeah, so hopefully somebody out there sees this. Hopefully you guys like it. I mean, it is such a cool car, and obviously it's not educational like most of my videos, and probably not even all that entertaining, but I'm just in love with this thing. It was a pretty stupid purchase because, while the car was very affordable, just two of its struts cost more than it. So we just really hope that it doesn't give us problems, or maybe we find support out there, maybe a GS 300 or a Toyota Cressida. Even though they're different, maybe stuff will line up and I can use like a strut with springs. I know many cars with air suspension over the years have aftermarket support for a spring. That way you don't have to deal with the air system, because I would not spend the $7,000 required to replace all four of those. I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd tuck it away in a barn until hopefully someday I could. But yeah, so here it is, our new 1992 Toyota Crown Majesta. Again, if any of this information is wrong, feel free to reach out. I'd be humbled and glad to be corrected, because that way I get to know what is right. And if there's anybody out there that has one of these, or knows about these, or knows about parts for these, please reach out. I'd love to chat. Any information, any form of community on this car would be greatly appreciated. Thanks, guys. Enjoy.